Imagine waking up one morning to find $230 million completely vanished from her crypto wallet. Just gone, no trace. That nightmare became a reality for one investor, and the trail of digital breadcrumbs led straight to a 19-year-old kid from Singapore named Malone Lam. This isn't some rags to riches story. This is a wild tale of audacious hacking, insane flexing, and a digital vigilante who brought the whole thing crumbling down. Buckle up, because you're not gonna believe how this one plays out. Let me ask you, how much money did you have when you were 19? Probably not that much, right? I mean, at that age, most people are just starting their lives. You're in college scraping by, working part-time for next to nothing, or grinding full-time just to afford rent, and maybe a couple frozen burritos. I mean, at least that's how it felt for me. Either way, you're usually counting pennies and eating ramen 5 nights a week. So you can imagine people's shock when they saw Malone Lam, 19 years old, driving around in some of the most expensive cars on the planet. People were like, how? How could he afford that kind of lifestyle? Simple answer is he couldn't, at least not legally. Let's rewind. In 2017, Malone was living in Chua Chu Kang and going to Unity Secondary School, but he ended up dropping out somewhere between ages 13 or 14 because school was just cutting into his free time. He basically said, you know what, school's for chumps, and just stopped going. At the time, he was super active in the online gaming community, and I mean locked in. His favorite game, Minecraft. That's where he met Zandiel Serrano, his future partner in crime, who lived all the way across the world in the United States. Despite the distance, Malone and Zandiel built a close friendship, and by October of 2023, Malone had officially moved over to the US. Together, they made a name for themselves in the Minecraft community. Not for being amazing players or for building epic castles, but for being straight up trolls. Allegedly, they'd loot other players' accounts, and if they really felt like being menaces, they'd steal those accounts entirely and sell them off for real money. Now, Malone came to the US on a visa waiver program, which only lets you stay for 90 days for business or leisure. But when that 90 days was up in January 2024, he just didn't leave. No flight home, no exit stamp. He was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna chill here. From there, he bounced around the country, living in LA, then Texas, and at one point, he even crossed the border into Canada. How? No clue, but somehow he managed it. And here's the thing, according to several reports, Malone wasn't just your average computer geek. The kid was a hacking genius, like Morpheus from the Matrix level genius. He could break into accounts most people would consider untouchable. That's how he was stealing Minecraft logins, and it's how he eventually ended up stealing over $230 million in crypto. And right there with him the whole time, Zandiel. Turns out, Malone wasn't just obsessed with Minecraft, he was also super into cryptocurrency. And as it turns out, when you combine elite hacking skills with crypto obsession and lack of adult supervision, bad things happen. One night, while hanging out online, Zandiel pitched an idea. Yo, what if we find someone sitting on a mountain of crypto and just take it? It was basically the same thing they were doing in Minecraft, just scaled up a lot. And of course, Malone was all for it. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? So now they needed a target. They started Googling stuff like people with lots of crypto and rich crypto investors. Eventually, they locked in on a guy, some anonymous investor in Washington, DC, who, according to Google, was absolutely killing it in the crypto game. His real name hasn't been released, so for now, let's just call him John. One day, John gets a call from someone claiming to be from Google tech support, warning him that his account may have been compromised. Then shortly after, he gets another call, this time from someone claiming to be from his crypto exchange, confirming that his wallet had been hacked. John freaks out. He's in full panic mode, thinking he's being scammed. And ironically, he's right, but he doesn't realize that the very same people pretending to help him are the very same ones that are doing the scamming. Yup, it was Malone and Zandiel on the other end of those calls. Once they got John scared enough, they guided him step by step into giving up his private info. They were like, yeah, we're gonna need you to reset your password real quick, and can you just go ahead and share your screen too? And just like that, they had access. With John's private keys in hand, they drained his wallet and transferred 4,100 Bitcoin to their own accounts. Now, 4,100 Bitcoin might not sound insane if you're not in the crypto space, but at that time, that was worth over $230 million. Boom! Just like that, Malone and Zandiel were some of the richest people in the US, practically overnight. They were stunned, like holy crap, we actually pulled it off. But here's the twist, someone in their crew was live streaming the whole thing. Yup, like the actual moment the Bitcoin was transferred was captured on a live broadcast, and hundreds of people were watching it happen in real time.
No way.
Oh my god! $242 million! Do you know how much money that is?
Still, that didn't stop them from celebrating. Now that they had money, they wanted to spend it, and I mean spend it fast. But they also knew they had to be smart about covering their tracks. So they split the funds across multiple wallets, scrambled their digital footprints, and went full-blown lifestyle mode. Private jets, mansions, designer, everything. Malone went off the rails. I'm talking 500K nights out, hosting massive parties, giving girls $50,000 handbags like they were a party favor. He was basically the male version of Oprah. You get a purse, you get a purse, you get a purse. Meanwhile, Zandiel kept things a little more low-key. But even with Malone flexing like a crypto king, nobody caught on. Not for months. They lived like royalty until September of 2024. That's when a new character enters the story, a crypto investigator named Zack XB. He's like the Sherlock Holmes of the blockchain, a digital vigilante who's built a rep for unmasking scammers and helping people recover stolen crypto. No one really knows his full identity, but he's out here making entire threads that ruin criminals' lives. And when he got wind of Malone and Zandiel, oh, it was on. Zack posted this massive expose on X, and he tore them apart. According to him, these two were nowhere near as clever as they thought they were. Sure, they could steal the money, but keeping it, yeah, they were terrible at that. Their OPSEC, or operational security, was embarrassing. Using the same devices for different wallets, logging into multiple accounts from the same IP address, and flexing their stolen money on public Instagram accounts under their real names? They might as well have posted, "Just stole $230 million, feeling cute, might turn myself in later." Zack even included the live stream footage of the heist, and once that thread took off, it was game over. Investigators had a play-by-play of the entire operation. And right when things were heating up, influencer Skylar Harrison posted a TikTok on September 11th, 2024. She said she met Malone at a club called Keys, and it was anything but a low-key night. According to her, someone from Malone's entourage invited her over to their VIP section by offering her an Hermes handbag, one of those luxury bags that cost more than your rent. She said Malone dropped $100,000 on drinks within 10 minutes of meeting her. And of course, he told her he was the son of a Chinese billionaire. Naturally, but he's not. The constant flexing, the thirst for clout, that's what did him in. Malone had no idea authorities were already on his tail. But court docs later revealed something wild. Government agents had been physically watching him for some time now. One prosecutor confirmed they literally saw him blow hundreds of thousands at a nightclub, in person. Meanwhile, his socials were serving up evidence on a silver platter. Videos showed him swimming in champagne, rocking diamond-studded glasses, and pretending to be the king of crypto. And then investigators finally ID'd his partner, Zandiel Serrano. On September 18, 2024, Zandiel was arrested at LAX after returning from a luxury trip to the Maldives with his girlfriend. Once in custody, they questioned her, and she cracked instantly, like McDonald's ice cream machine in the summer levels of broken. She told them that Malone had just hopped on a private jet to Miami. He didn't get far. Authorities arrested him shortly after while he was trying to flee again. He's been in custody ever since. Prosecutors labeled him a major flight risk, pointing out that he had no stable residence, no real job, and still likely had access to millions. In a Florida courtroom, the judge dryly noted that Malone had lived all over the US, everywhere except the place he got caught. His job was listed as a crypto investor, which in this case meant guy who spent other people's Bitcoin. But even with all the evidence against him, Malone's not backing down. On March 7, 2025, his lawyer filed papers saying they're going to trial. They plan to challenge the evidence and demand full access to search warrants, reports, everything. He's currently in a Virginia detention center waiting for his day in court, set for October 2025. If convicted, he's facing 14 to 17 years behind bars. Oh, and let's not forget, at least $100 million in stolen Bitcoin is still missing. No one knows where it is, maybe except Malone and Zandiel, but they're staying tight-lipped. What $100 million? That's crazy. Never heard of it. And just when it seemed like things in this case couldn't get any wilder, it did. Police now believe that a completely insane side story, the mysterious August 25, 2024 kidnapping of a Connecticut couple in broad daylight, might be actually connected to the Washington crypto theft. Here's what went down. The couple was out house hunting, cruising around in a Lamborghini that they said had been rented by their son. That's when they were carjacked and abducted. According to an indictment against 6 men from Florida, the kidnappers targeted the couple because they believed the victim's son had serious access to digital cryptocurrency. Their plan, prosecutors said, was to kidnap the parents, stash them in a rented house, and demand a ransom paid in crypto in exchange for the couple's safety. The kidnapping happened just a week after the heist of the 4,100 Bitcoins in Washington, D.C., raising eyebrows about whether these cases are more tangled together than anyone first realized. The 6 men have been charged federally with conspiracy to carjacking, and they're also facing state criminal charges for the abduction itself. However, and this is important, they haven't been charged in connection to the original crypto theft. Neither has the son of the kidnapped couple, who still hasn't been publicly identified. Still, the coincidence is a little too close for comfort. A massive Bitcoin heist, flashy parties, high-speed arrests, and now a kidnapping plot straight out of a bad action movie. Somehow, the deeper investigators dig, the stranger the whole thing gets. And let's not forget, there are still millions in stolen Bitcoin floating somewhere out there, and we don't know where it's at. Will this missing crypto ever be recovered? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and while you're at it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.